They built 96 houses on my land, not by accident, but on purpose. Yeah, that happened. I inherited 47 acres out in Colorado from my granddad, paid off and untouched, a patch of pine forest where I thought nothing ever changed except the wind. 3 years went by, life got heavy. Divorce, kids off to college, work swallowing everything. I finally drove up there, planning to scatter Grandpa's ashes, only to find my trees replaced with paved roads, street lights, and families unloading U-Hauls into houses they'd paid nearly $500,000 for. Where my forest used to be, a damn subdivision, neat as a pin, complete with a stone sign reading Ridgeline Heights, a Whitmore luxury community. I swear I checked my GPS 4 times, but it was still my land, my name on the deed, my whole history bulldozed under beige stucco. At the gate, a guard asked if I was lost. Before I could explain, a white Range Rover rolled up. Out stepped Cassandra Whitmore, all Botox and linen, with a look that said she'd never heard the word no. She glanced at my boots, my beat-up Carhartt, the oil-stained Silverado, and you could see her mentally filing me under loser. Sweetie, if you're looking for a job, I might have something, but labor crews are mostly full. I told her, dead serious. I wasn't looking for work. I was looking at my land. Well, our title company says this land was abandoned. Adverse possession. So it's ours, and my lawyer's already confirmed. We've sold every house. $16 million in pre-sales. You should go before I call the sheriff. Big supporters of ours, by the way. Then she snapped a photo of my license plate, just in case you come back to vandalize anything. That's when I knew I wasn't up against incompetence. This was theft, calculated, and dressed up in legalese. I went home and dumped every folder Grandpa ever kept onto my kitchen table. Deed from 1971, hand-drawn survey maps, 50 years of property tax receipts. His note, written in blocky old man script, don't let the bastards take what's yours. For 3 years I hadn't visited, but I'd never missed a tax payment. $6 for 100 every April, like clockwork. My only regret? Not realizing sooner that evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it's a Rolex and a business card. First thing Monday, I called Cassandra's attorney, and their answer? We'll give you 15 grand to sign a quit claim deed. For land worth $4 million. I knew enough from my divorce. Never sign unless you're ready to walk away with nothing. I told them I'd see them in court. But first, I needed backup, someone who ate corporate lawyers for breakfast. A friend pointed me to Lydia Chun, an attorney who once made a railroad beg for mercy. Her office smelled like lemon polish and old money. She studied my tax receipts, flipped through Grandpa's ledgers, and finally, without looking up, said, "You want to win? Do nothing. Let them finish construction. When they're done, you'll own 96 houses, not just land. And then, we bury them. You ever get advice so wild you think maybe you're the crazy one?" But it made sense. Stop construction now, and I'd be dragged through years of lawsuits by families who bought homes in good faith. Let them finish, then hit them with the truth. It was brutal, cold, smart as hell. The price? 40, maybe 50 grand in legal fees. I had 12,000 in savings. My truck was on its last legs, but I said yes anyway. Grandpa's voice echoing in my head. Fall turned to winter. I drove by every week, phone in hand, snapping photos, time-stamped, GPS logged, like Lydia taught me. Cassandra saw me soon enough and called the sheriff. Deputy Torres, young guy, nervous, tried to warn me off. She donates to the equipment fund. She says you're harassing her. I told him to check the parcel number. He didn't want to get involved. Nobody does, not when the rich folks are writing checks. By November, families were moving in, kids playing in driveways, pizza boxes stacked on porches, American flags waving in the wind. And man, I felt sick. These weren't villains, just regular people trying to make a life. But their dreams sat on my nightmare. Then came the escalation. Certified letters, threats of lawsuits, photos of my truck circled in red, all delivered with that fake smile venom that only people like Cassandra can muster. Lydia loved it. Every letter, every threat was evidence. They know there's a dispute, and they're building anyway. That's fraud. Meanwhile, she turned me into a detective. Find everything on Cassandra. Property records, business filings, who's behind her money. Turns out, her husband Preston Whitmore ran Ridgeline Capital, a man who'd been sued for fraud before, always settling quietly, records sealed. The title company filed an adverse possession claim, but never got a judgment. They just started selling lots, hoping to bury me in paperwork before I could fight back. Cassandra fought dirty. She filed fake code violations, sent code enforcement after me for illegal dumping on land she'd stolen. The inspector, a tired guy named Rick, saw right through it. Off the record, she does this every project. If you need a witness, call me. That card went straight into my pocket. Another small stone for the slingshot. Then came the social media hit job. Cassandra plastered Facebook with warnings. Local man stalking families, taking photos of children, claims he owns our homes. Within hours, my phone blew up. Old friends, my boss, even my daughter Emma. Dad, are you in trouble? Someone posted my license plate, called me a predator. At work, I was put on leave. Jenny from accounting, who used to bring me cookies at Christmas, crossed the street to avoid me. That's when I got it. This wasn't just about land. It was about breaking me, making me quit. I called Lydia, desperate. She filed for a restraining order, added defamation to the lawsuit. They want to bury you in mud so no one listens when you tell the truth. If you want out, I'll get you a settlement, maybe $500,000. I remembered Grandpa's note. I told her no. We finished this. And the hits kept coming, spray-painted threats on my garage, a private investigator harassing my son at work, even an IRS audit triggered by an anonymous tip. Lydia was furious. This was witness tampering, intimidation, criminal territory now. But for every punch they threw, they left a fingerprint. By late January, a Boulder real estate blog leaked all the sales contracts. Every buyer was at risk of losing everything. Panicked homeowners started calling me, crying, asking if I'd kick them out. I'm not the enemy, I told them. I'm just fighting the people who lied to us both. Then came the twist. Channel 9 wanted to run a story. Patricia Hughes, investigative reporter, sharp as a tack. She filmed at my house, asked me about Grandpa, the ledgers, the smear campaign. She pressed hard but fair, and when she called Cassandra for comment, Cassandra threatened to sue her. Patricia grinned. Threats mean I'm onto something. The segment aired, the tide started to turn. People began seeing Cassandra for who she was. Days before trial, my house got broken into. Nothing stolen, just a note. Drop it or lose everything. My neighbor, Carol, a retired librarian, handed me a sticky note. She'd written down the plate number of the black Audi outside my house. PI again. The cops couldn't do much, but now I had even more for Lydia's arsenal. Finally, trial day. Courtroom packed. Homeowners, media, even some of Cassandra's old contractors. Lydia was a force, laid out every receipt, every map, every payment. Brought in witnesses, code enforcement, the title company who admitted taking bribes, even the sheriff's deputy who'd been caught in the middle. Lydia dropped the hammer with Preston's email. If we move fast, we can create enough chaos that Flint settles cheap or drowns in costs. The judge's face said it all. Cassandra pled the fifth. Preston sweated through his suit. The trial lasted 7 hours, but the outcome was clear before the judge finished her ruling. We won everything. Full title to the land, for $0.2 million in damages, criminal referrals for the Whitmores and their whole rotten crew. Their company dissolved, assets seized, Cassandra banned from real estate for life. But then came the real question. What do you do with 96 families who bought homes on your stolen land? Legally, I could have evicted them, sold the houses, walked away with millions. But I called a meeting in the unfinished clubhouse. Every family there, scared, angry, hoping for mercy. I told them, you bought in good faith. You did nothing wrong. I'm creating a trust. You get your homes at the price you paid. No interest, no new mortgage, just the chance to stay. The relief in that room, you could feel it. Some people cried. Mr. Rodriguez, an old man who'd saved his whole life for that house, shook my hand and said, your grandfather raised you right. That's the legacy I wanted. Not just money, not just revenge. Justice that fixes what was broken. Now I wake up in a small cabin on 5 acres at the north end of the property, the last stand of old-growth pines Grandpa wouldn't log. I see deer in the mornings, drink my coffee on the porch. My kids visit. The scholarship fund in Grandpa's name helps local students chase their own dreams. Patricia Hughes won an Emmy for her coverage. Sometimes I think about the Whitmores, Cassandra on probation, Preston facing charges, their Range Rover on a tow truck. And I remember, keep your receipts. All of them. So here's my question for you. Ever had a fight with an HOA, a neighbor, or a developer who thought they could steamroll you? Drop your story in the comments. Let's see how many of us have been there. And if you think stories like this matter, about regular folks standing their ground, smash that subscribe button, share your battle, and keep those receipts. Next week, I'll tell you about the time City Council tried to run me out of town and I turned the tables. See you then.